Welcome back, guys, to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing SHF Jiraiya, the exclusive from New York Comic Con, and the new release of the Sage Mode. And as you can see, the boxes are already different. We got different accessories, a lot of different changes that happened to this figure, so we're going to be checking those out. But let's get a first box impression. As you can see here, we have the box with a more peach color and Sage Mode on there. Yeah, the poses are different here, as you can see. And that is your first impression of the box. For those of you who have never seen this box before, this is how the box looks. It's green, as you can see. Comes with different accessories, like I said. And the box is way bigger. I'm really liking this slimmer version. You can't really tell side by side, but it's definitely like slimmer for sure. This box was just way too big, and it was like really complicated to fit into my collection. So let's unbox him and get a close look at the figure. And I'm hoping that this figure is an improvement on the other one. I'm going to go through the issues that I had with the initial release of the Jiraiya, but I'm really hoping that this figure builds upon the foundation that they already had of the first figure. And here's the plastic, as you can see. Let's move this out of the way. Got the extra hands and feet here on the back in a plastic bag. So we always start with the first impression of the figure. And I can already tell that the head sculpt is different. It looks a little different. There's a couple things that are different, but first I want to see if he can stand. One of the biggest issues I had with the other Jiraiya is that he could not stand on his own with those sandals. He can stand. So this is already an improvement over the first one, purely based off of his balance. This other figure is terrible in terms of getting him to stand up. It is honestly so hard to get him to stand. But this is definitely an improvement. Let's get a closer look of his head sculpt here. Looking pretty nice there. See the soft plastic here. I have so many issues with this figure, with the original figure, but this is looking pretty good. It looks definitely different. I don't know how to explain it. The aesthetic is definitely different, but um yeah, great looking figure so far. So in terms of articulation, he is double jointed, but it does go past 90 degrees, but kind of stops, doesn't go all the way. He does have a bicep swivel. I don't know if does he have a butterfly joint? I can't really check. I don't want to peel off this. This seems to be stuck onto him, glued onto him. So be careful with that. I was gonna check if he has a butterfly, but can't really tell from here. I think he does. I couldn't tell you. Ab crunch, pretty good, better than what I was expecting, honestly, for this figure. Going back, you do get a gap there, but it's pretty good range, as you can see. This is another soft plastic piece here that can move, swivel around, and opens. Kicking out forward. Kicking out forward, we have great range. Do go past 90 degrees on the knees as well. These are double joint. Extra piece here. One for the toe joint, which is connected to the sandal, and then one for the ankle. Really good movement here on the ankle. Thigh swivel here. Can kick out pretty far. Let's see. Side by side, really good, and it's pretty smooth here. Articulation is pretty smooth here in the abdomen. Really good range, really good articulation here. For the head, he can look up this far. Looking down, not so much. Side to side. This is a really heavy piece here. His hair is really heavy, and you can see as it weighs down on his head. But they are pegs here that actually move in the hair to articulate it, which is really interesting. He's solid overall. I wonder if he's going to get loose over time. That's like my biggest fear with SHFs recently. He doesn't feel so sturdy, but there's nothing wrong with him right now. There's nothing wrong with him. So let's get into the accessories, and then I'm going to show you a comparison to the original. So for the accessories, he does have this thing. There's peg holes in there that you slot them in. They could have just made it a piece that you can like clip together. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. because then you gotta like swivel it around and try to get it into the peg hole. I genuinely do not like this design at all for this Jiraiya. But honestly, you can also just avoid it by just like putting it in. But I don't like it. Not a great design in my opinion. I don't like that. I definitely do not like that. I'm gonna keep saying I don't like it. That's a terrible design choice in my opinion. Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't like it. Here we have the Rasengan that I'm assuming has a peg hole right here, like a hole for a peg for one of the hands. We do get both toads, which I really do like a lot. That's a really good addition to this figure. Both toads. And then he only comes with 2 faceplates. Technically 3, but 2 for Jiraiya. He comes with his Sage Mode with the red skin, and then where he's just normal, right? So only 2 facial expressions. Not a lot. I was expecting a lot more from updated version of Jiraiya. We honestly get more accessories in the first release than we do in the second. And then I believe this is a top 99 Naruto face, just based off of the blue eye. That eye is kind of like the saturation of the top 99 release. I couldn't tell you if this is top 99 or not. I don't have the top 99 figure, so I'm assuming it is. So we have a interesting design choice here with the hands and this like additional plastic that they put. They all have openings here where you can slide out the accessory, and this is the way that you are able to access each of them without them scratching each other. You just open it like that. I don't know. This is just like a lot of new stuff that they're doing with this figure. I'm assuming this is where the toads would stand, and you put this around his neck, and then you put the toads on this thing because they have a peg hole on the bottom. So as you can see, he comes with a lot of hands. He has the 2 Sage Mode feet, the 2 Sage Mode hands, 2 regular open hands, and then this is for the Rasengan, and then this is for just like normal open hands, I guess. So he does come with a decent variety of hands, right? But I just think this is like a much watered down release than the first one. The first one, I think, might be the definitive Jiraiya. And it's honestly a worse figure, but it has more of Jiraiya's personality. It has more of Jiraiya's things. Now, before talking about a comparison of the accessories, I want to talk about the figures themselves. Oof. So, as you can see, in the Sage mode, his hair is longer and it's also more white, as opposed to here it's gray. The jackets are different. The silver is more yellow, as in here in the first release it's gold, and the circles are smaller, obviously. The plastic is different too. Like as you can see, this one is kind of just like, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like the design of it is different. As you can see, this one's like more like opened on the jacket, while this one is a little bit more closed. Also, there's like more shading on this jacket. It's also scratched, which I just noticed that because I think I put the arms on top of him. Because one thing that I hate about the original figure is that it comes with the crossed arms on, and then when you try to put them back in the box, you have to put the crossed arms back on in order for him to go back in the box, because technically these arms are separate. So far, these are design choices that I'm noticing. You also see that this silver part is a lot more shinier on the original release, whereas here it's more of like an actual, um, like I don't know how to explain it, matte, I guess. Where this one has like a glossy finish on both the wrists. I do think that this one looks a lot better for that piece going down to the feet. This guy is impossible to get to stand. I'm going to show you right now. Like, it's a mission to get this guy to stand. Wow, he actually stood. But honestly, the design on the new one is way better. I think they made the platform thicker, and they made the overall sandal so much bigger in order to make the figure be able to balance himself. And as you can see, the colors are different on the sandals. The yellow dot is different. The size is different. Everything is different on this figure. The feet are bigger. The face plates are completely different. there's like a different aesthetic to the faceplates. I don't really know how to explain it. I think the plastic they used is different. I'm not sure how else to explain it, but I feel like there's definitely a different aesthetic to both of these in comparison. They look a little different. They almost look like different people. Also, you can see that they sculpted the jaw a little bit more inwards. Not the jaw, but the chin. Whereas to this one, it's just flat. So there's definitely a difference here between the two. And I don't believe that you can interchange these. Let's see. I don't believe so. So, yeah. So I showed you both figures. What I didn't talk about was the joints as well. If you see, the first release has like these jogger like joints, whereas the second one, they're more seamless. So it does look a little bit cleaner overall. I think it's a pretty big improvement, honestly. And I don't know if you can see here, but I had to sticky tack this arm because it just kept falling off and falling off because I had to swap. When you swap it with the cross arms, they constantly like fall off. It's really, really bad to, get them to stay in place once you take them out. Whereas this one, no problem, just on there, no cross arms. Thank goodness, cross arms suck. Figures that you try to put their normal arms back on and they just do not work at all. For the old release, you can actually take these out and swap them. Oh, you can. I didn't even notice that. You can take these out and swap them between the hands and put the green piece on here. And it actually looks like, I did not even notice this, but this thing was actually designed the same exact way, but I think for the newer release, they actually let you take it out. I didn't even notice this came like this. So this is not a new way of implementing the back piece. It's actually already been implemented in the past, but it actually, I don't think you were able to take it out on the first release as opposed to the second release. You can take off the back piece. The back pieces also look different. I'm not sure if this has to do with like the storyline or the arc in the show, but it's definitely different. You see, it's white here, whereas this one is just one shade. And look how much bigger it is compared to the first one. So much bigger. So that's interesting. Now let's go and compare the accessories between these two figures. So as you can see, he comes with the cross arms. He comes with like 4 to 5 pairs of hands. He also comes with a mini Rasengan instead of a big one like the new one. He comes with the popsicles. He comes with 4 faceplates, I believe, and the phone. For me, this is kind of like more of a Jiraiya, like just the faceplates. Look at the faceplates. They look so much better here. Not because of their design or their quality, but just because of the expressions, they look much more like the Jiraiya that we know and love. Whereas the new one, 3 faceplates, all different, but they're just more Sage Mode arc, if that makes sense. And I kind of understand they're from different arcs. They represent different versions of the same character, but you can't tell me that the original doesn't capture the personality of Jiraiya a lot more than the new one does. So it is unfortunate that you do have to get both of these figures in order to capture Jiraiya to his fullest extent. However, I don't know how I feel about certain design choices like the hair. Like, I don't know if I like the new hair better or if I like the old hair better. I guess time will tell. I think the new hair is better and it is longer, which I think is more accurate. So I think I do like the new one better. Also, with the different pegs that you're able to, move the hair around, where this one only has one peg in the back of the head. So the sculpting does look a lot better as well. I think there's a lot of improvements here, right? A lot of improvements for sure. But just like these, like the matteness to like, I don't know how to explain it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it, but the soft plastic feels a little bit better on the older one than it does on the newer one. The newer one looks a little bit cheaper. You see, like it's shinier plastic here, whereas here it's a little bit more matte down, not as shiny. I really don't know how to explain this in the terms of figures and stuff, but I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. Oh my, look at his arm coming off. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's an improvement, but at the same time, it's a different aesthetic. I hope that makes sense. But there's Jiraiya for you. And actually, let's do a size comparison between the two and with other figures in the line. After comparing the two side by side, I really don't like the new head sculpt at all. I think the original one looks way more like Jiraiya. It just gives Jiraiya, the quality just looks a lot more premium on the first one, where the second one looks more toyish. It just looks cheaper. I don't know how to explain it, but it just doesn't look good. It looks like a bootleg. Like it looks fake. I don't know how to describe it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I like so okay, maybe okay, the proportions on the right are better, the joints are better, but the plastic, I don't like the plastic. Mm-mm. I don't like the plastic. I don't like the aesthetic of the faceplates. And the hair looks better. I do like the hair a lot more. I think the faceplates are really like where it's getting me. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe I need to like. I think I needed to let it grow on me because I've had the Jiraiya on the left for so long that it was my only Jiraiya, and now I have a new Jiraiya. One statement that I will say that is objective is that the one on the right looks more toyish for sure. There's no question about it. It looks a lot more toyish than the one on the left. They did do the seamless knees, but I think it just gives a toy vibe. I don't know how to describe it. I really don't. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I'm so conflicted right now because the reason why is that I was never gonna pick up the Sage mode because I was like, I already have a Jiraiya. What's the point of getting a new Jiraiya? I definitely appreciate that this figure is not falling apart like the first one. I appreciate the updates to the articulation, but then like certain design choices, it's just like I don't know if they're exactly accurate because I don't remember what Jiraiya looks like in that arc. However, I just think that some pieces here just look cheaper. Like the coat looks way cheaper on the right than it does on the left. It's just like some shiny plastic, you know? I hope I'm making sense here because I'm just as confused as you guys are when it comes to both of these figures. But let's zoom in on those head sculpts real quick. So there's both of the head sculpts zoomed in. And again, I don't know how to feel. I don't remember Jiraiya looking like the one on the right. I mean, the hair maybe is a little bit better sculpted wise, but I'm talking about like the face structure. It doesn't give me Jiraiya. It really doesn't. At least this specific faceplate. Maybe that's what the issue is. But anyways, forget about my opinion. I want to hear what you guys have to say about these figures. Do you believe that this is an upgrade? Do you believe that it looks better? Or do you think that the older one is better? Or maybe they're both trash. What do you guys think? But anyways, let's compare him with Orochimaru, who is in the back, and also Tsunade. This is a great size comparison. I think it's perfect. I think the new height is perfect. I think the other one was a bit smaller, too slim. This is a perfect height. I really, really like how he looks right now. I think this is actually a better Jiraiya. It's growing on me. As I do the review, it's growing on me. I'm appreciating the way that it looks. I think it looks great. I think it looks great. I'm still not going to say that this figure is perfect. It's better. It's better. I think it's better. I think the proportions are better. I think the head sculpt and the sculpting is better. I think the like chain clothing that he has is better. There's definitely an improvement here. Also, for the hands, I noticed that they all come with the green thing, so you don't have to swap the green thing to every single hand. I don't know why the original had it like that. You get the Sage Mode accessories. Since you're getting two Jiraiya head sculpts on a Sage Mode figure with a Sage Mode head sculpt, I think I'll let it pass. But I mean, I guess you also get the toads, and you also get like the attachment piece you have to put on, even though that came with the other figure. There's less personality here for sure. But even though that there's less personality here, the figure itself is an improvement. I think that's my conclusion for this figure. There's no other way for me to put it. An improvement, but still not enough. I think right now I could sell my other Jiraiya. I think I could sell my other Jiraiya and be happy with this one. The other Jiraiya just had too many flaws. This one has less flaws, but still not perfect. And I think that's every figure, you know, every figure is not going to be perfect. Some figures, they're going to have some problems. Some figures might have less problems, maybe almost peak, but there's always going to be something that someone's going to complain about. You can't please 100% of people all the time. It's just physically impossible. However, I just think that this figure looks a little bit cheaper than the last one. But I think maybe that's because this plastic that they're using improves articulation. If you compare Jiraiya's cloak to Tsunade's cloak, on the arms, okay, that's an exception. But if you see the inner cloak part, it doesn't look as shiny as his does. So that's what I'm saying. And those dots, like they don't really look good. You know, this definitely looks cheaper. But does it articulate well? Yes. Does it have okay or decent accessories? Yes. So I think when you trade Jiraiya's personality accessories with Sage Mode accessories, that's probably where they made up. I think I was being a little bit too harsh because I forgot about the Sage Mode accessories that come with this figure, the two toads, the hand, the feet, like the hands and the feet. I was being a little too harsh. But it just sucks that you have to pay for two different Jiraiya's in order to get his personality, in order to get his Sage Mode. But I guess they could have easily gave us a couple more faceplates, updated faceplates of the original, or just like new faceplates that we've never seen before. But instead, they only give us two. There's literally space under the toad to put another faceplate there. But I guess the back thing to put in, I appreciate it being loose. That's obviously a plus. But having to plug it in each time and then not giving us enough space in the box for it to go in with it sucks. I don't want to have to take this off and put it back on every single time I'm going to pose Jiraiya. That's a personal gripe, but I think it is an improvement that they actually allow us to take it off the figure this time. That's kind of like my final thoughts of the figure. Let me know what you guys think. This is an improvement in many ways, but it's also a downgrade in a couple of ways. I think he looks great. I think he looks good. If I were to rate this figure, I'd actually say this figure is better than the other one. I'd actually say this one is better. Throughout my review, my opinion has changed, and I think my final opinion is that this figure is better than the original. It has more positives than negatives like the original did. The arms aren't falling off. The proportions look better. The sculpting looks better. The plastic, not so much, but it's also more seamless in the knees. He's much bigger. When you like kind of compare the two, pros and cons, this guy just has more pros than cons. I think he looks great here with the. This is the legendary Sanin. This is why I did a size comparison to Orochimaru and Tsunade. I personally think they all look great next to each other. And when he's around other figures, he looks good, especially with that taller Jiraiya that we got here. I feel like the other one was too short. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. I'm trying my best to dish out as many reviews as possible. And I would really appreciate your feedback, your engagement. You guys are the best. And I hope you enjoyed this review. Peace out.